Alright, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Twat Talk. I'm your host, Ross Graham, and today, after like a year of this podcast existing, we finally have Alen on the podcast with us. At last.
Gosh.
Literally after like what, a year? And
Yes.
we've had this for a year. I've had Day on twice, I've had Casey on twice, I've had Viper on twice, and you've just never been on it.
It just be like that, you know?
You're literally the last person that I've had to get on here. But okay, I guess as our starter topic, we're going to talk about the revelation that you came to earlier. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as you may know from a lot of the videos, Alan's mic quality sounds a little bit better in this one. Would you like to explain why?
I forgot to check my settings. Uh, and I just have had this mic on my desk for 3 years without actually using it.
Exactly. So
More than once.
Exactly. So basically, if you go back to the casino heist video from, what did we reckon, like February last year?
Yeah.
So if you go back a year ago and you find that video, Alan's mic sounds like the one that he has now. And that's because he was using the wrong bloody mic for, what did you say, 3 years? You've been using the wrong microphone? And you've just had it on your desk? Alan? The hell? The hell? The hell was that?
I don't know. My mic's just stopped working.
For God's sake, you've literally just sorted it out this morning and then, or like this afternoon. And now
It just said,
it just said no.
I'm ahead out.
I am ahead. God's sake, yes, this is the amazing stuff that you can expect from a podcast with Alan. The amazing quality that you can expect. Okay, I guess I'll talk about like some of the scene changes as well because I've added a few things to the podcast, like to the podcast screen. So as you'll be able to see, right up at the front is Joffrey. Okay, can you actually explain Joffrey? Like, can you explain that?
Joffrey's an enigma.
Joffrey is a being of corporeal form.
Yes.
So basically, what it is, it's a picture of me with my hair down. I mean, you guys can see it. It's a picture of me with my hair down. Not in the ponytail that you guys are used to. But what happened? Did my camera freeze or something in a Discord call?
Yeah.
And you managed to snap this screenshot of me. And we called it Joffrey. There was another one beforehand as well, but this is the most recent version of Joffrey. Like, that's the most recent one. And it's pretty funny, so I decided to include it. And for Alan's picture on this podcast. So, again, would you like to explain that? Because you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of just me, kind of cosplay, just regretting my life decisions.
Pretty much. What character is it again? Because I know it's from Naruto, but I can never remember the character's name.
It's supposed to be Itachi, the emo dude. That's why
the emo guy. That's you'll forever be known as the emo lad. But it's so stupid. Like, so basically, what we did is I told him to stand there. In that or not stand, but sit there in that cosplay, and this is the face that he pulled for me making a meme where I essentially did, like, you know the thing, like anime, manga, Netflix adaptation. We basically did that, but the anime and the Netflix adaptation, and it was amazing. Yeah. It was absolutely beautiful. Like it's amazing. And just that face now has become iconic among like the Discord. And then we finally made profile pictures out of them because I put pain under it, and then I used my Joffrey as my profile picture. Because why the hell not? Oh, honestly, it's so stupid. What else?
Yeah, it is.
What else can we talk
But
about? I just thought I have like a bunch of stories from times that I've been like drinking. I could probably tell
drinking,
those.
huh?
Yeah, drinking, right? And I've come to the conclusion, right? A conclusion I've came to is that I think I'm going to be a bit of a lightweight.
Yike,
Yeah,
bro.
I know, right? Because I remember, I can't remember when it was. A couple of months ago, I think we were. Was I streaming or was someone else streaming Rocket League? I don't remember. Or
Uh,
were we just playing that night? I don't remember.
I think you streamed for a bit and then we started
And then we
playing
were
it.
just playing, yeah. But basically, I sat there with, and people in the UK will know what this is. I don't know about other people around the world, but Wicked, like WKD. I had the blue one. I drink the blue one because it's a really nice taste. Plus, it's fairly low in alcohol, and it's like a vodka based thing. So there's like a bit of
Yeah, I
vodka in
remember.
it. Yeah, there's like a bit of vodka in it, and then it's got essentially coloring and flavors and all that put through it. I'm more explaining here for the people who don't know what Blue Wicked is. Right, most people
Yes.
who are Scottish will know exactly what I'm talking about because it's in every gaff that you go to. Every single gaff that you go to is get some. It's either Blue Wicked or it's Mad Dog. It's one of the two. And then I don't know why, but sidetrack. Like Scotland seems to have like a thing for alcoholic drinks that look like a luminous liquid, like things that look like science experiments. We seem to love it. I don't know why. Every
Nice.
single drink that we have, it looks like it came straight out of like a fantasy book with the color that it is. but,
God.
but coming back to my original point, I sat there with a 750 milliliter bottle and slowly drank it over the course of I think maybe around 5 to 6 hours.
I think it was like half a bottle or something like that.
Oh no! It was like 3/4 of the bottle. I remember that because I'd had a small amount of it the night a week
Like
previous or
before.
something because I was drinking with my dad, and then so I had 3/4 of the bottle left. So what's like I don't know what 3/4 of 750 is. Around 750 divided by 4 times by
That would
3.
be 500.
Yeah, like 563 it says. So we'll say roughly about like 560 was left of it. And I sat there and I drank that over the course of I think maybe about like I said like 5 6 hours. And by the
Yeah.
end, I was a little bit tipsy. I think you remember. I was I was starting to kind of slur my words a little. Like the
Yeah.
words were getting a bit slurred.
Understandable.
I couldn't keep a state like my train of thought was going as if it's ever like constant ever, but like it was worse that particular night. Who was even in that call? There was you, me.
Um.
I think Nova was there.
Yeah, I think the
Toby
Viper
was
might have been
there.
there for a bit.
Viper was there for a
Viper's
bit.
a bit.
Cause that oh yeah, that's the night we recorded when Nova walked on screen and Viper just said, "Yeah, this gay faggot." I still have that video. I still have it.
Budget memes.
Budget memes. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that should be what I should have. I should have a picture of Nova in here. Okay, but I'll get the sidetracked. So basically, yeah, I was a little bit tipsy by the end of that night. Yeah, so I've got a feeling I'll be a bit of a lightweight because that's only got like 4% alcohol in it. It's really not that. It's like 4 or
Yikes.
4.4. I can't remember, but it's something like that. It's not that much alcohol in it. And I didn't drink it like extremely quickly either. Like I said, 5 or 6 hours to drink 3/4 of the bottle.
Well,
I'm trying to think of other. I'm trying to think of another drink story. I do have one where I was up. Like I don't know why. Do you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna start telling sick stories now because screw it. Why not? Those are always funny. You get to hear me in misery. So, so basically, one time it was New Year, going from 2019 to 2020, and I was in Spain, right? And I was having a great time. One thing that was weird about that is because Spain's obviously an hour ahead,
Mhm.
so I was sat there telling everyone on my social media, Happy New Year, and everyone's like, we're still waiting for the bells back home. Like everyone back home was just still waiting,
Yeah.
so it was really weird to be like, I'm technically in 2020 and they're in 2019. Damn, I'm a time traveler.
That's actually how I felt as well
Yeah.
with like others.
Yeah, because we'd all be sat there, like, for you to be 1 in the morning, and we're all going, Happy New Year, lads. I think that might have been the one time that if I posted Happy New Year in Discord, that you and me would have actually been in sync.
Yeah,
That would
that
have been
would have
the
been
only
true.
time. I don't even remember if I posted in Discord. I think I did.
No, I don't think you did.
No, I didn't. I think I posted the next day, but not that night. But anyway, right? But I had 2 smaller bottles of Wicked, right? Like 2 of the smaller ones. Like it's about the size of your like average beer. I don't know how
Hmm.
much that is, but you know if you get like a crate of them, average
Yeah.
size. Yeah. So I had 2 of those because I wasn't going hard that night. I didn't want to drink a whole lot, and I hadn't drank a ton before, so I was just chilling. And then it was really weird because I went upstairs, and by upstairs I mean that like the pool was down at the bottom because we're in like a holiday home. So I went up, and we were on the top floor, and the people who owned the villa were on the bottom floor. So I went up to the top floor to go to sleep, but the wheelchair access was at my room, so I slept in the same room that had the ramp to get up from the pool. So I had to leave my door unlocked so that they could all get back in. And I remember I got up and I fall asleep. And then I think it was about 5 in the morning. I heard a noise just coming in through the door. And like I was obviously half asleep, but I just heard the noise. And I didn't know what the hell it was, so I'm like, okay, that's weird. But then I feel myself going, God, something's not sitting right here. And I get up and go to the bathroom because I feel like I'm gonna be sick. And I'm not sick at that point, but when I tell you that like it felt like Niagara Falls came out of my back end. It was basically that. Like Niagara Falls was coming out the back, just it was horrid. I was like, ugh. And you know that way where normally you're on the like if you're on the toilet, you're there for like at least a minute or so? No, I was there in total 30 seconds and I was gone. Like that was it. It was so quick. Like 30 seconds and then I was like straight back through to bed. I was like, nope, not doing this. But but then I wake up that next morning. I wake up the night I wake up maybe a couple hours later and everyone's up and I go to my mum and I'm like, I heard a noise coming in my room at about 5 in the morning. Who was that? Turns out it was her. Her and everyone downstairs had stayed out until about 5 in the morning, and then she decided to come back up through my room, which was very very fun, and totally didn't terrify me in the slightest that somebody might have possibly broke in, and I'm sat there on the toilet. Not terrifying at all.
Just taking a shit. just taking a 30-second shit before it breaks in.
Yes, I kid you not. That's what I thought was happening. Oh no, I told the story wrong because I got up, I went to the bathroom, and as I'm walking back through, like still half asleep, my mum just walks through the door very casually and goes through my room and goes upstairs to her bed. Just very casually. Bear in mind, she'd been drinking a fair bit, so she was a bit drunk and barely remembered it as well.
It's amazing.
I think I only have one story similar where I was in like a particularly odd situation, I guess. So with this particular story, I was sat there. I'm in my bed. I'm at my dad's house, so I'm lying in bed and I couldn't fall asleep because I said like, God, my stomach's killing me, and I couldn't fall asleep because of it. I think at this point it's like maybe 3 in the morning, which now is just like the normal time that I stay up, as you do, you know, living that gamer life. So I'm there at 3 in the morning, and I'm just like, you know what? Nah, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I go there, and again, it goes to go out the other end, but I counter for this, and I sit down, and then as I've sat down,
You just thought of it?
as I sat down, I feel it's going out one way, and then I feel some of it coming up, and I'm like, oh God, right? And at this point, and in this particular house, right, the bathroom was not big, right? It was essentially like a corridor style bathroom. It was probably about as wide as a corridor, right? So, and the sink was on the opposite side of the room. But I'm obviously still using the bog. So my only resort was to lean to my left and throw up in the bathtub.
The bathtub.
Yes. So I'm sat there going and then go into the bathtub.
So you took a shit and you vomited at the same time in the
Yes,
bath.
it was horrible, and I had to like slightly stand as well to be able to reach, but like with my arse still just kind of hanging over the toilet, and it was horrible. And I'm sat there. This is all happening, and my dad has no clue. Like he's just still fast asleep in the room directly opposite the bathroom. Like he's just fast asleep. And it's not until I start going, Dad, that he finally wakes up and comes through and he's like, the hell happened? I'm like, I didn't have any other choice. I hadn't even been drinking this night. This is like before I started drinking, I'm like, Dad, I didn't have any other choice. I had to throw up in the bathtub. Oh god, and I feel bad because I have such a bad, like, say for example, if someone is sick around me or if I'm sick, I can't even clean it because then I'll be sick again.
I can't do that.
Yeah, so bless my poor dad. He had to clean this up at 3 a.m. He had to clean out the bathtub.
Oh, you gotta get him a real good gift for that.
Oh god, I feel like I'm gonna be paying him for like years worth of debt because of that. Like I have to get him all the best Christmas presents because hey, do you remember that one time that I threw up in the bathtub? Do you have any stories like that? Or am I just like strange in my sick stories?
Well, kind of. Like, when I still had a stepdad, I was sleeping there in my room. I was just chilling. And my room is in the attic. Mm-hmm. So I really had to take a shit. But okay. I also felt my stomach just rumbling and feeling something was rising up.
That's the worst.
So I checked my phone to see what time it was. It was 4 a.m.
Oh no!
And
really similar timings as well.
Yeah, and I tried to run down to the bathroom.
Oh no!
It was locked. Someone was in there.
No.
So I just had to sit there. I went upstairs again just to wait. And I fucking vomit all over my fucking room's floor.
Oh no!
Turns out my mom was in the bathroom, and
wow.
I called her upstairs.
Mom.
And my entire room was just filled with vomit.
Oh no!
I'm pretty sure I ate something rotten.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
And she cleaned that while I was just sitting there in the hall, just shaking.
Yeah, you always go and sit out in the hall. I just did the same thing. Except I stood in the hall because I wasn't going to sit down on the floor. But I just stood in the hall as he cleaned this up. And I was standing in that same position that every little kid stands in and we're like, Mom, I threw up. Like, you know that way where they stand there like their legs slightly apart and their hands like down by their sides? I stood like that the entire time, just I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wasn't even like a young kid or anything, I just stood there like, sorry. I didn't mean
you know what's worse?
What?
I share the attic with my sister, so like there's a wall between our rooms, so she heard all of that. But I still had to take a shit, so I went down, and I just took the most aggressive shit that lasted like 20 minutes.
Oh Jesus Christ!
That's crazy.
Mad stories going on. I don't know why, I was randomly thinking of these stories like the other day. Like I just randomly thought of these and went, you know what, these would be really good to talk about on the podcast. Like this is the things that people want to know.
Ah yes, vomiting shit.
Oh god. I have this weird thing. I like don't get sick for ages, but when I do get sick it's really bad. It's
Yeah,
like the worst sickness.
I kind of have that both. Like I both have like sometimes that I get sick for really
Mhm.
long, but then most of the times I'm sick for like a day or two, and then I'm all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, mine are like only a couple days long, but it's the worst few days of my life. And
I
then
did
like for
have
months I'll just be fine completely, and then all of a sudden, ah god, I'm in bed now for like 3 days straight.
Yeah, I did have once that I was sick for an entire week. I was like throwing up
Oh
like
god.
every single 15 minutes. Let's say
Jeez.
that.
I
And
remember I remember one time I made myself really ill. By total accident, mind you. Didn't mean to, but I did. But I'll let you finish your point and then I'll tell that.
yeah, so basically I was laying in bed,
Mm-hmm.
had a big ass fever,
Damn, bro.
and I threw up my stomach bile.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, so like
Seven
do you mean
seven
like
days
this
straight.
wait, do you mean like the stuff that lines your stomach?
No, no,
Or the
no.
stuff
It's like
that's
yellow. It's like yellow stuff. It's like
oh, like
yellow
the
kind of
is it
stuff
like
that
the
just
acid that
chilling there.
sits in your stomach?
I don't know, but it was yellow. It was just like
Ooh,
yellow, and it was really
nasty.
gross. I tried to take a drink, and I vomited in my water bottle.
Oh.
So
Oh.
I just sat there for like 7 hours because my mom wasn't home,
Oh
just
no.
waiting because I couldn't stand up. Otherwise, I would just faint because of the fucking headache that I had.
I think you're gonna say like you did the typical like iron deficiency thing where you stand up a bit too quick and just.
I do that all the time.
I've never done that. I get like slightly woozy, but I've never passed out.
I've well, not really passed out.
I do
I've
occasionally
definitely
just go like
fallen over a
whoa.
lot.
I've never
I do.
fallen. I've
I've
never
had
fallen. That's the weird part.
once. I've had once that I fainted, but like the
Um,
rest of the times it was usually just a little
yeah,
woozy or then that I fall over.
yeah. Normally I just stand up and go, Christ, lost balance there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But along with the story of how I made myself ill, right? I kid you not, it was a 3 day process, and I did it completely on accident. So at the time, right, obviously not going to name names because this is a public podcast that goes out, and I don't want to name people or like tell people where I live. But so I was talking to this girl. How as every great story starts, I was talking to this woman, this girl, honestly, and then I don't know, something about the whole situation was making me like on edge all the time. Like I was constantly anxious and I hated it. It's the most anxious I've ever felt for like a period of time. And this is before I did counselling or anything, before I even considered it. And it was this event that caused me to say, okay, I need a counsellor. Because or my mother to suggest to me, maybe you should go to a counsellor, like get therapy, get help. I'm like, yeah, probably. So so I was extremely anxious at the time, constantly, always on edge, nearly 24 hours a day. Um, so I think it was the Friday night. I did nothing. I was just talking to her, FaceTime, whatever, and I was completely fine. Apart from the anxiety going on in the back, but then and I barely ate anything. And this is the part of the story. I barely ate dinner that night, and I thought, it's fine. I probably just lost my appetite for tonight. I'll have it back by tomorrow. So the next day rolls around and she's holding a gaff. It's like a house party for
Hmm.
to translate for anyone outside of the UK. So she was holding a gaff, which a lot of people would say that a gaff is an empty, like they're the same thing, but no, because her parents were home, so it wasn't an
Hmm.
empty, but it was just a house party. So we all go, and it was a bunch of our friends, um, more her friends than mine to be honest, but they kind of came with they kind of came with her, so. And I was
Package
friend, and
deal.
yeah, and I was friends with a few of them anyway because they were in like classes with me, so we were all pretty chill. Um, so I get there, and it's an okay night, like it's pretty good. And then, like before I went, I barely ate any of my dinner, which was weird because I normally can shove like as much food in my gob as possible. And of course, I was just going to this party, but I didn't feel hungry, and I was like, okay, it's probably just fine. Didn't eat anything while I was there, and I think I was there until about maybe 11, 12 at night, and I left for it at about maybe 6 or 7, because that's like roughly when it started. So then And then on the Sunday, I barely ate anything either when I was with my dad, and it was really bad. So I go into school again on the Monday, and I think I'm in second period. So, like, I've already done one class, and I'm into my second class, and I say to the teacher, look, I had to go down to the office. I feel horrible. I feel like I'm about to pass out. And he's like, yeah, all right, I'll let you go down. So I go down, and they basically say to me, look, is there anyone you can phone to, like, go home? And because, like, this is bad. Like, we can't handle this. Like, this isn't solved with a cup of water and an ice pack. Like, this isn't solvable with just that. So they basically said, yeah, you need to go home. So I go up and get my stuff, do whatever. And right after it, my mum says to me, it's because you've not been eating, like, the entire weekend. And it's at that point that it clicked in my head. I've barely eaten over the course of the last 3 days. No wonder I feel like I'm going to pass out. Because I didn't eat anything that morning either. So yeah, that was basically how I made myself incredibly ill.
Huh.
Very fun story.
Yeah, it tends to happen when you don't eat.
You see, the problem was I wasn't eating because I was anxious. But it was like that horrible feedback loop because I felt anxious, which meant I didn't eat. But then because I didn't eat, I felt horrible. But then I wouldn't eat because every time I tried to, I felt horrible. So it was this horrible loop that I was in. And essentially I had to go on like dissolvable tablets because I cannot swallow a pill. I don't know why. Just something in my body will not let me swallow a pill. So I had to get ones that dissolve in water, and they're full of like vitamins that would essentially give me back some of what I'd not had, like specific vitamins that I needed that I hadn't had over the last 3 days. And I think I was on those for like a couple of weeks.
Yikes!
Like every single morning, I had to have one. Luckily, it was flavored and it was like orange juice basically, so it was really cool. I liked it.
You're like a child with like a vitamin gummies.
pretty much. I can't remember what it was called. It's not ibuprofen, but I can't remember the name of it. But regardless, so I was basically on that for like a couple of weeks before I finally got my proper appetite back, and it was at that point that my mother said to me, "I think you might need to go see a counsellor." Because you're not eating now. So it was already like a small problem before, but now it's like a bigger issue. And then she's like, yeah, you need to go to a counsellor. So I did. And yeah, that's a completely different story. for a different time. But yeah, like I don't know how I didn't notice all of these weird changes that were happening for no reason. It sort of happened.
I do have a story left, just one though.
One more story, all right.
I was in Spain on vacation. It was like a multiple area vacation.
Yeah.
So I was there sharing a room with my sister for a week, and it was like I woke up at like 2 a.m. Had to take a fat shit. I tried to get up.
What is it with you and waking up at the early hours of the morning and having to take a fat dump?
Because I barely ever go to the bathroom like before I go to sleep.
In your waking hours.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much. I had that the bed basically just broke because it was just too small. Like I couldn't even fit on the bed itself. So it just snapped. So, and then the next morning, because no, wait, that wasn't in Spain. That was in Turkey. Not Spain.
Right. Okay.
Basically, there, the water's like pretty bad. Like the tap water.
Yeah, you can't drink it.
Yeah. So
it's horrible.
I had to take medicine and such. So I had medicine that makes me need to wash my mouth. Okay. And we didn't have any bottled water.
Oh no,
so
you drank the tap water, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of got sick for like 2 days.
Oh my god.
And finally when I was better, I tried to take a shower for like the first time when I was there. And I couldn't fit under the shower. Cuz they have this shitty like pedestal that just makes it a bit too high for me to actually stand under it.
Ah, okay.
So I just hit my head on the shower head. Yeah. anytime I looked down, I had to look down the entire time. And each time I lifted my head, I hit my head on the shower
So
head.
I just picture you standing like with this picture that I'm looking at right now with a shower head like literally an inch above you. Just
Not even an inch.
pain.
It's like what? It was like a centimeter
Oh
at
my
max.
god. Just pain.
Yeah. So from then on, I just went to my mom's room because
Ah.
they don't have
Oh,
the
the
shower
thing,
pedestal.
yeah.
They have like a proper shower.
Right, okay.
So I
So
just had to go there every time.
what is it that like see if you like obviously in your own house you know how the shower works. Why is
Yeah.
it whenever you go to someone else's house they never have the same kind of shower?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Right?
I've
Like you
also
could literally travel across the globe and never find the exact same way that the shower works.
yeah, I've only been to one like actual one place where I've used the shower. But
Mhm.
like any other friend's house that I haven't used the shower, I just looked at the shower when I was like, in the
Yeah.
bathroom, just like
And
washing
it's
my hands or
never the
something.
same as your own.
No, it's just like a weird mechanism
Yeah,
that
it's always and it doesn't matter
you
how
don't know
many
anything about it.
like it doesn't matter how many friends' houses you go to, it's always different. And they never
Yeah,
have the same one. So you have like 4 different kinds of showers between your friend group. And each
yeah,
of you know how one of them works. It's weird.
yeah,
I don't like it.
yeah.
Do you know what I can't
I,
stand? I can't stand if you go around someone's house and their bathroom is messy. Like if they have
wait,
like, like towels on the floor and
well, you better not go in my bathroom.
you know the one that the one that really does my nutting, right? And I went into someone's bathroom, I can't remember who. But for whatever reason there was a pair of flip flops in there. And I'm thinking, who the hell needs a pair of flip flops in the shower?
Well, it's usually for like after showers for most people. I do
Yeah,
that too. I just put my flip flops like right far enough so that the water doesn't hit there.
right.
Because I don't have like a bathtub that just stands there to take a shower in.
Yeah,
Um,
I have like a walk-in one because
yeah,
of my
I just
mum. She
have
can't get like if her back goes, she can't get into a bathtub.
yeah, we just have a shower head on the wall, like mounted, and then curtains.
Okay, so basically, I'll explain how mine works. So basically, it's like a gate that you open to get into the.
Gates.
Yeah, so it's like
It's like a child gate, like a child safety gate. Like
no.
they put
So
at the stairs.
so basically, if you imagine that like one side of the shower is like a bit of plastic on top that holds a big bit of glass, then picture the same thing around the other side, but it's 2 gates that open in the opposite way to one another. So one of them opens outwards, and then the other one opens into the shower. You don't have to open both. You only have to open one. So you open the one that goes outwards towards the rest of the bathroom and away from the
I,
shower, and then
I really don't understand, bro.
you get oh for God's sake.
I
I'll have to
can't.
send you a picture sometime of what it looks like and you'll get it. But I hope that I'm explaining it well enough that people on the podcast can get a rough idea. But essentially, picture like child protection gates, but instead of bars, it's glass. Right?
God.
Just picture something like that, or like the fence, or like the gates that they put up in houses for like dogs. Picture one of those, plastic along the top, and then glass instead of bars. So basically, we have that, which means that water doesn't really get out because it gets stopped by the gate. It's yeah, but for the way that yours sounds, you've literally just like your family has just like said yes, this is where it is now.
Well, it was kind of already like that when we got the
But
house
the way
like
that you
10 years
described
ago.
it sounded as if like you put it like your family put it there. Like they all of a sudden just stuck the shower head through the wall and went, that'll do. And then just hung up a curtain round it. To go like, there you go. And the rest of the floor is just flat.
Yeah, it basically is.
Wait,
Like
what? So you don't have
it's a we have a drainage we have a
Uh-huh.
drainage like in the floor
Yeah.
installed there.
Wait, but is
So
there
it just
nothing
goes
to
down.
stop it like the water going out into the rest of the bathroom?
No, it doesn't matter because it's like slightly curved down so that it doesn't go up.
Oh, right,
So
yeah.
so
Okay, that's fine then. I thought you just had like a completely like your entire bathroom floor was just flat and there was nothing there, so the water could just theoretically go forever.
no, the furthest it goes is like slightly before the sink.
Right, okay. That makes more sense then.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But basically, most people just have flip flops in their shower so they don't get their feet dirty when they get out of the shower. Because naturally people aren't going to just put on socks when your
To me,
feet are
that
like
makes no
still
sense.
basically
We
wet.
just have a bath mat.
Yeah, your feet can get gross again if you just don't
Yeah.
if you just walk over your floor.
Hmm.
So it just kind of removes the
I guess
point
we
of
just don't really bother with it.
washing your feet.
Plus our bathroom's that small that if we put flip flops in there, someone's bound to trip. Like someone is bound to trip over them things.
Yeah, ours
The
is
bathroom's
massive.
small enough as it is. Like we don't need any more clutter in there.
Mm.
It's madness.
Yeah, I live in a house. It's different from an apartment, so
Yeah,
it's naturally going to
it's
be
a bit.
bigger.
Yeah, living in a council flat is a bit of a pain in the hole. It's not
Yeah,
exactly.
I live in like a row house.
Mm-hmm.
Like houses connected to each other.
God, I would love to like actually live in a proper like house. Unfortunately, both of my parents live in flats, so. But saying that, like apparently, if anything happens to my dad, apparently I'll get that flat, which is kind of pog because like he'll
Uh,
basically put my name on it so that it's like yeah, if anything happens, it goes to you, and this is basically just where you live now. I'm like, aye,
hmm.
cool. I'm like, it gives me a. It means I don't like when I'm older, I don't have to go around and sort out bloody housing, and just have to like go and find somewhere to live. I'm hoping
I'm
to be
really,
like well past. I'm hoping to be like into like through college, through uni, whatever, and into a job by the time that anything happens to him.
yeah,
Touch wood, fingers crossed, like that nothing happens to him like in a year.
yeah.
I wouldn't be ready for that. I don't think I could do
Can't relate.
it. Can't relate. No thanks.
But yeah, pretty much. I think for you, that would probably be handier to just like get into a house with like a bunch of roommates so that the rent
Yeah,
is like properly split.
yeah. Saying that, if I go into the house that my dad has, if I I can't remember what it is. I think it's like if I went on the dole, then they would have to pay it or something. Or like for people who don't know what the dole means, like if I went on benefits, like unemployment check, basically. It's
Hmm.
like they would have to pay for like the living at least, and I would just have to pay for whatever I need, like food,
Yeah, like
things like
food.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd have to pay for that stuff, but I think most of my stuff would be covered. But I'd hope to have a good paying job that I could actually, you know, pay to live
afford a
there.
place.
Yeah, afford to live there. I don't know if I'd want a roommate though. I don't know if I'd
Yeah,
want a roommate.
you would have to like get someone that you at least like somewhat know and
Yeah.
like
The only person I can
properly.
think of is Viper, but could you imagine trying to live with him? Could you
Uh,
imagine trying that?
that would just be hell.
I would. I feel like
If you're in my shoes, if you're in my shoes,
me
that
and
would just
Viper
be
would
hell.
just be hitting each other constantly.
I think that would be with anyone.
Yeah, good point. I think if you right, I don't care how good of a friend that you think you are with people. If you had to live with one another, you would probably kill each other.
Well, it
Like I think
really
that's just a
depends.
fact.
It
No.
really
I
just
think that's a
depends on how
fact.
much
Like
you
if you
lang.
spend like if you spend a considerable amount of time around anyone, by the end of it, you'll find each other insufferable.
Yeah, it's in most cases, but not all.
Hmm. Probably like the very few case where two people can actually live together and get along.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Kind of whack.
Yeah, kind of whack. But like I said, I can't imagine trying to live with Viper.
Yeah,
I would. Oh God, I couldn't do it.
I would be dead in the week.
Exactly. I'd either be dead in the week, either from him killing me because we've gotten into some kind of argument, or from me roping myself because I couldn't put up with him anymore. Like that's the one of two choices that happen. I don't know.
Pretty much.
I feel like I'd probably just live in the place myself, even though it's 2 bedroom, and just convert
Yeah.
one of them into like an office space or game room, whatever, recording area, something like that.
Yeah, you could also just lease it out like a certain amount of
Nah,
time.
screw that. I'd
I mean,
rather.
it's always a
It
possibility.
is a possibility, yeah. I'd probably be more likely to convert it so that I could then separate my relaxation from my work.
Conversion kind of costs a lot of money though sometimes.
No, not really, because all I would
It,
have to
it,
do is take the stuff out of the room and then put my stuff in, and that'd be it. Like
You might
that's
just be
what
moving it.
when I say convert, I more mean move furniture in to make it a games room. That's basically what I mean.
Mm.
Probably the only thing that I could do would be I could give myself direct Ethernet by going through the wall into the cupboard where the router is. But saying that,
Yeah.
there's a lot of technical stuff in there, so I don't know if they'd let me. Like the
I mean, you could probably just run it along the floor,
like the
like
main
tape it to the ground.
probably I could do that. Yeah, because like I probably wouldn't want to drill through in case I accidentally drill through the mains. You know, like the
Yeah.
fuse box and everything. Like,
Yeah, you might want to just like
or
most people
get
just
someone
put
in.
it. You know those little ledges on your floor, like on your walls as well. There's like
Yeah,
one.
the
Yeah, just run it
I
along.
forget,
Just run along that.
skirting board. That's what it's called. Yeah, run it
Mm.
along a skirting board. I could do that. Fair play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fair shout actually. And then yeah, I'd probably use it for that because the rooms are sizable. Like they're pretty big. You know, like they're not overly cramped or anything. So I'd probably do that because my PC wouldn't take up a whole lot of space, but I'd have the rest of the room to do whatever with, basically.
Yeah.
Could be fun. Could be an idea.
Yeah. If only I didn't have such a big closet, because it's so unnecessary to have such a big closet. I would have so much room. So I got a big ass bed.
Part of me wants to change like my entire room around. Not necessarily in layout, but just like with cupboards and things. I want more efficient cupboards, if you get me.
I mean, yeah, I just have like 2 shelves here.
Because my cupboards
right
like, now are a bit of a pain.
Like,
they're a bit of a pain in the hole. And some of them are like falling apart nearly. So
I just looked up, and I have the Jungle Book as a like a regular book.
Oh my god, who the hell?
Like a traditional book that you would find in a library.
I have like an entire area in a cupboard dedicated to like comics that I've barely read.
Yeah, I've got 2 shelves. Yeah, I've got 2 shelves, and one of them is for just regular books, and the other one's for comics.
Nice. I've got quite a few of them.
They're like really old comics as well.
Yeah. I have.
They're my dad's.
Yeah, I have like a few of them that are kind of old, and then some of them that are like just newer comics. Because I didn't get into comics until like, oh god, I don't even remember when. I remember the time roughly, but I don't remember a year of it. But it was for anyone who knows comic books and stuff like that. It's when DC did like the New 52. Like when they did that. I don't remember when they started that. Hold on. When did DC start the New 52?
Probably like
2011, it says. So I probably got into it just shortly afterwards.
2012.
Something like that. So yeah, that's roughly the time. So I have a lot of them from that early era of the New 52 stuff, but that's about it. And then I have a few of them that are like a couple years older than that, but like I said, not many.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. It's a weird one because I don't actively collect them, but if I see one that I think is interesting, I'll be like, oh, I'll pick that up.
Yeah, I wish I could. Just my just the fact that I don't have a job.
Yeah, I don't either.
Doesn't allow that. I mean, I don't make any money either. I don't get any pocket money or something like that.
I could work, but I'm just a lazy sod.
Same.
Like I'm technically of legal age to work. Like I could go get a job in like Asda or something or Tesco, but I'm just like, nah, I can't be arsed. It would give me way less free time than I desire.
I mean, I can't even work there now because of the fact that it's like mostly closed.
Yeah, good point. I guess I'll talk about like one last thing. I was watching a comedy show last night. I actually still have it next to me. It's a DVD by amazing Scottish comedian. Probably most people around the world know who he is. Billy Connolly. Absolutely amazing Scottish comedian. And it's his show Two Night Stand. Which it's a fairly short, like for a stand-up show, it's fairly short. It's only like an hour and a half. But oh my god, it's amazing. However, the DVD, pain in the arse to get a hold of. Because a lot of his stuff, it's fairly easy to find, but that one is such a pain in the hole. 2 night stand specifically. Like, if you go onto eBay, which, you know, most people go to eBay to get a cheaper price. If you go on there, there's people selling it for like 40 to 100 quid. We were lucky enough that we managed to get one for, I think, about 20, 25 quid. And that was with bidding, you know, for it.
Yeah,
But,
like,
you know, if the ones that are buy it now, where you're you know, you're basically saying, yes, you are guaranteed to get it if you hit buy. Yeah, those are like 40, 50, 100 pounds. It's like, no thank you. I'm not paying that for a single DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just that one show. And it's unfortunate because that show has got two of his best bits in it. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's such a pain to get a hold of because more people should see it. You can find a few of the clips on YouTube. So just type in, like, you know, Billy Connolly 2 night stand. You can probably find it. But yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And it's from 1997.
Jesus.
As I look at it there. Yeah. He doesn't really... He's retired now because he's like an old ass man. And I think he's also got... I think it's Parkinson's that he has. And you can see it in some of his final shows. You can see the hand shaking. But still a fantastic comedian. Like, I definitely recommend it. Like, looking up just any of his stuff. Probably say we call that there. It's a pretty good episode of the podcast. Plus, we're running out of things to say.
I did have one thing to say, but I forgot already.
God damn it. I bet it'll be one of those things where, you know, we'll do this podcast, we'll run out of things to say, we get off, and all of a sudden it's just this mountain of great conversation. Like, the second we're not on a recording, it's like the best thing since sliced bread. I can bet.
What a saying. Best thing since sliced.
It is a kind of weird saying, yeah. But anyway, I hope all of you have enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Finally, Alen actually got on the podcast after a year of it existing.
I'm gonna stab Pringles can.
You and your damn Pringles. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Link to the Discord and my Instagram is in the description. Only if you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.